Well, I do expect that the report will galvanise action on the part of the international community.
On February 17, 2014,
a report was delivered to the United Nations Human Rights Council. It was the report of the Commission of Inquiry on Human Rights in the DPRK. This report caused a global sensation. At the UN Human Rights Council and at the General Assembly, a resolution was passed detailing how crimes against humanity have been committed in the DPRK pursuant to policies established at the highest levels of the state. For the last 2 decades, since the world has learned of the terrible abuse of human rights in North Korea, North Korean abuses have become an international issue. But what was in the COI to have alarmed the international community so much? The basic standards used to assess human rights violations are in the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and the Conventions of the Rights of the Child. North Korea is a signatory to both of the conventions. However, the findings of the COI showed that the conventions are being flagrantly ignored. Instead, the absolute standard North Korea uses is the 10 principles in establishing the party's monolithic ideological system. The 10 principles are 10 fundamental guidelines for North Korean people. North Korean people must follow the 10 principles in every aspect of life: political, social, cultural, and educational. During weekly confession and criticism sessions, all the people, including children, must criticize others and themselves in accordance with the teachings of the Kim philosophy and the 10 principles. Suppression of freedom of expression and opinion is carried out through surveillance and state violence. All residents must belong to an inminban, or neighborhood watch, in which intimate details of family life are scrutinized and reported to the State Security Department and the People's Safety Ministry. Sometimes, villagers are given orders by security agents to spy on their neighbors. Even among family members, people cannot speak freely. Some inmates of political prison camps are people who have been caught using this system. All citizens are required to become members of and participate in the activities of mass associations. The functions of mass associations are to organize and monitor the daily activities of the people, to ensure continued indoctrination, and to mobilize members to carry out public construction work. Refusing participation is not possible. The cultural lives of citizens are also subject to constant surveillance. Group 109 is organized to crack down on foreign influence, especially from South Korea and Western countries. By the orders of the Supreme Leader, Group 109 is empowered by Defense Security Command and SSD to carry out intensive surveillance over people's cultural lives, sometimes through surprise inspection visits to private households. People can only watch what the authorities show and air. This cultural life is focused on idolization propaganda for Suryong. North Koreans are constantly exposed to ubiquitous state propaganda. Across the country, this includes propaganda paintings, murals, posters, billboards, and monuments revering the Kim family. These are produced by the Propaganda and Agitation Department within the Central Committee of the Workers' Party. There is no independent media. Television and newspapers run by the state have to pass several layers of censorship. All media tools such as televisions, recorders, computers, and printers have to be registered with the authorities. Radios must be permanently set to government-only stations. Normal citizens are not allowed to use the internet or make international phone calls. If citizens use a mobile phone via Chinese communication services along the border regions, they're treated as political prisoners and harshly punished. This totalitarian government control depends on prohibition of external information, mass indoctrination, abolition of free speech, constant surveillance, and violence. It is a serious violation of the ICCPR and the Convention on the Rights of the Child. The COI report's conclusions detail the systematic, widespread, and gross human rights violations that have been committed by the DPRK, its institutions, and its officials.